Do you have any plans to call President Lai of Taiwan before you make a decision on the weapons package?
Well, I'll speak to him. I speak to everybody. We have that situation very well in hand. We'll work on that, the Taiwan problem.
I got to be honest. There's all this controversy because no American president has spoken directly to Taiwan's president since the U.S. and China reestablished diplomatic relations in 1979. But so what, to not upset China? You don't talk to the leader of the country that holds your economic fate in its hands? I don't think it's a problem for the president to talk to the president there. It's that they make all the chips, and we can't keep them safe from China. That's what has to be discussed, okay? Taiwan controls the manufacturing of semiconductor chips, okay, which all of our lives are completely dependent on. This comes days after Trump went to Beijing and didn't want to talk about Taiwan, okay? And then Congress had approved a $14 billion U.S. arms package to Taiwan, which the president is slow-walking now. During the meetings, President Xi of China reportedly told Trump that Taiwan is the main issue for him, and we understand why. So let's get some context of what is going on here. We have Ambassador Alexander Yui, Taiwan's representative to the U.S. Ambassador, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Hello. Thank you, Chris, for having me on your program.
Ambassador, what do you want the American audience to understand about how fragile the peace is between Taiwan and China?
Well, it's fragile, but it's been going on for 77 years. First of all, there was a mention about the Taiwan problem. Actually, we're not the problem. The problem is the People's Republic of China, they are the aggressors. They're the ones who are trying to change the status quo in the Taiwan Straits. My president was very emphatic a couple of days ago when he mentioned that, we want to preserve the peace stability of the Taiwan Straits. We want status quo, and that status quo means to preserve the nomenclature of my country, which is Republic of China, the flag. We're not going to change anything. Nobody's pursuing independence in the way of changing the name of the country or changing whatever. We're not doing none of that. But PRC, for some historical claims, they want to get hold of Taiwan, the 23 million people. But we are a democracy. The fate of my country is in the hands of our people, our electorate, and we get to choose what we want to do with our own, future. But the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, they're trying to get hold of us militarily if needed, and that's why they've been having this a very massive military buildup in a peacetime moment. And they have no threats, but they nevertheless have the second largest armed forces in the world, largest navy in the world. But again, I want to stress the danger is not just Taiwan. Their ambitions go beyond Taiwan. They want to be, during the President Trump's visit to Beijing, Xi Jinping mentioned that to see it as trap, which means one is falling and one is growing, and one is on the rise, one is on the fall. And obviously he meant to say, United States, you are on the fall, I'm on the rise, and I'll be on top, and you're getting in the way. So we're not the problem. Actually, for the United States, Taiwan is a solution. You mentioned about the semiconductors. We have one company called TSMC, which makes,
yes.
And some other companies in Taiwan, we make, as you mentioned, 95% of the high-end chips are made in Taiwan, physically in Taiwan. And, companies, U.S. companies such as AMD, NVIDIA, Apple, Qualcomm are the largest clients for TSMC. And by the way, they're not buying stolen chips. These are chips that were, technologically transferred to Taiwan. TSMC devoted enough capital,
the Chinese are the people who steal them. Oh, I understand that. Ambassador Yu, I have a question. Are you aware of a plan to repatriate 40% of the chip making from Taiwan to the United States?
Well, that's why I'm saying that we are the solution. As the United States is trying to reindustrialize, the renaissance in your industrial capacity, We are a solution because we're bringing manufacturing into the United States. 12 years ago, 85% of our foreign direct investment was going to mainland China because that was the manufacturing center. But 2 years ago, it came down to 7% going to China. This year, it's less than 3% of our FDI going to China. Where is it going? 40% of our FDI is coming to the United States. And that was before President Trump's second term started. So this shift from manufacturing into the United States, it's good for us because this is where our clients are, and this is a place ideal for manufacturing. But this is not a zero-sum game, whereas, we take what's being produced, the manufacturing from Taiwan, and we uproot it and bring it to the United States. Actually, we're growing our footprint of manufacturing because the demand for these high-end chips are ever expanding. So it's sort of like, you set up a McDonald's and it's selling well. You set up a second McDonald's. Doesn't mean that your first McDonald's is going to sell less. Actually, going to sell double, and that's what's happening. So actually, it's good for the United States because we're moving our manufacturing or expanding our manufacturing in the United States, which, by the way, is right now mostly concentrated in Phoenix, Arizona. TSMC is building 6 fabs at a cost of $165 billion. But we in Taiwan are also expanding the manufacturing. Taiwan is a small island the size of Maryland. We can't physically fit all of that expansion of manufacturing in Taiwan, so we need to go somewhere, and United States is an ideal platform. So there will be an increase of manufacturing in the United States, but that'll be a gradual increase.
Ambassador, you heard me at the top of this. With my audience, I'm always transparent about where my head is on an issue, so they don't have to guess at why my questioning is what it is. But given the context I already provided, the argument for why the President of the United States should not deal with the President of Taiwan directly is because it violates the idea of the one China policy. And basically, in plain American speak, it pisses off President Xi if the president were to do that and speak to Taiwan's leader. And that's why no American president has done it since 1979. Do you believe it's time for that to change, despite the risk?
Well, I want to clarify that there's a difference between the one China principle that China is trying to impose on every single country, which means, there's one China, they're the China, the CCP the China, and Taiwan is part of this CCP China. But there's many countries, including the United States, have the one China policy, which is quite different, which means I have my deals with China. I have this policy dealing with China, but doesn't mean I can't deal with Taiwan separately. So many countries actually deal with Taiwan, as the United States have done for many years. As you mentioned, President Trump and President Xi, they discussed Taiwan extensively during his 2 days in Beijing. And we know it's the issue is about Taiwan, so we are the stakeholders. So for the U.S. and Taiwan to also have high-level discussions, I think that's just reasonable, and we shouldn't be a surprise.
Ambassador, you're always welcome on this show.
Yes.
This is going to be a continuing part of our coverage of what matters to the American people and to the Taiwanese people. So thank you very much for joining us, and I hope to have you again, Ambassador Yui.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Chris.
much.
Appreciate it.
Okay, be well, Ambassador. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.